Hey there guys, Mr. Luna here, just stopping by to share another video lesson with you. So today we want to work on another FRQ, and the reason being is that the test is really nearby and I want you guys to become as confident as possible as you can, and this will enable you to perform better. So I do want you to start feeling a little bit more at ease, and I think that simply by practicing and keeping our practice with high rigor, you will be performing rather well on your AP test, as well as you're going to feel at ease when the test is closer by. So today I wanted to work on this one FRQ that references Sam Green. Now, today this assignment, we'll work on it together as a class. It is not necessarily an assignment that needs to be turned in. However, I really do advise you to follow along and take some notes regarding this assignment, so that way you have a better understanding as how to talk about certain concepts and how to relate them to the scenario or to the prompt given. So let's go ahead and just take care of reading the prompt. So it says, Sam Green noticed an ad for an internet dating service that claimed more people who use its service are in long-term relationships than people who didn't. Sam, a great critical thinker, knows that this is not enough to claim that the service causes people to find long-term love, and wants to create an experiment to investigate. Use the following terms to describe an experiment that would support or dispute the ad's claim. So it doesn't matter if you want to support it or if you want to dispute the ad's claim. All you have to do is use the terms, but these terms right here, in order to support or dispute the ad's claim. Awesome. So if you don't remember what these terms were, I did take the time to write down some notes on them. So a hypothesis is a tentative explanation for an observation, phenomenon, or scientific problem that can be tested by further investigation. So a hypothesis is an educated guess that we can put an experiment together to test out. Now, a random sample is a sample randomly taken from an investigated population. So random sample is a sample based on the population that you're interested in. So if you're interested in men, then your population would be men. And then you have different age groups that you can actually acquire, and this would go hand in hand with the random assignment. So random sample is just selecting a group of people at random, and then the random assignment is an experimental technique for assisting human participants or animal subjects to different groups in an experiment. So random assignment allows us to assign the participants to either or category from the experiment. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when we randomly assign somebody, we're just simply giving them a task based on like a coin flip or based on a random generator on a computer. So random sample is just selecting somebody or participants at random, and then random assignment is giving those participants an assignment at random that they will partake on within the experiment. Now, the operational definitions are just statements of procedures that the researcher is going to use in order to measure a specific variable. So it's just the definition of like how the researcher did what he did in order to put the experiment together. So the operational definition actually allows all experimenters to replicate the same experiment. It does not matter where the experimenter is. So independent variable, we've said that that is what I manipulate, the experimenter. So it's a statement, it's a factor that you purposely change or control in order to see the effects or what effects it has. Now the dependent variable is the variable that is being measured or tested in an experiment. So do not get them twisted. Independent variable is what I manipulate. Dependent variable is what is being measured or tested. Now, inferential statistics are just simply ways of testing the reliability of the findings of your study, and then inferring them or predicting characteristics from a small group of participants to the general population or a large group. Perfect. So that was a quick little review of the terms that you need to use. But remember, we need to use the terms to support or dispute the ad's claim. Now, if we wanted to do this successfully, we just simply want to start off by using the first word. So we can say something like the hypothesis, so let me erase that. The hypothesis in this control group, or in this context, I'm sorry, is that internet dating services causes or leads to long-term relationships. Awesome. So very, very straightforward. The hypothesis in this context is that internet dating services cause or lead to long-term relationships. So that's exactly what we got from the prompt, because that's what they gave us. That is what the hypothesis is. Now, if we want to move on a little bit more forward, we can tackle down the next category. So we can say something like, since the population of interest for this study should be people who, oh my goodness, everything's on cap. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and erase that. I did have my version of this example here, but I want to type it out and talk about it as we work on it together as a class. So since the population of interest for this study should be people who are looking, oh my goodness, my cat, guys, I'm sorry. My cat is attacking me. Get away. So here's my cat. It's just attacking everything we're doing. But anyways, so since the population of interest for this study should be people who are looking for long-term relationships, selecting a random sample of adults seeking relationships would help assure that the conclusions could be generalized to the dating public. So far we've got this. The hypothesis in this context is that internet dating services cause or lead to long-term relationships. Since the population of interest for this study should be people who are looking for long-term relationships, selecting a random sample of adults seeking relationships would help assure that the conclusions could be generalized to the dating public. Now, in this case, participants should be randomly assigned to use of the internet service or not. So this sentence says, in this case, participants should be randomly assigned to use or to the use of internet or to use, I'm so sorry, should be randomly assigned to the use of internet. Internet service or not. So far we've actually taken care of random sample, random assignment, hypothesis. We're going to jump on to the next section here, which is operational definition. So Sam would need to operationally define what is meant by use of internet service. So possibly including a precise number of visits to the website. Or time spent on the website. The phrase long-term relationship would also need an operational definition. Possibly by the number of months together or a formal commitment. Awesome, so we're almost there, guys. We're almost done. Just notice some errors here that I'm going to change. Awesome. So the phrase long-term relationship would also need an operational definition, possibly by the number of months together or a formal commitment like engagement or marriage. In Sam's study, the use of the online dating services is the independent variable. Right, and my laptop's about to die, so let me just get the charger on it, guys. Almost there. Perfect, so it's charging now. And then, so that's period, and then we just jump onto the next section. The number of long-term relationships is the dependent variable. And lastly, Sam will need to calculate statistical significance for the experimental findings. In order to claim support for the hypothesis, the results need to show that there is no more than a 5% chance of the findings are due to chance. Awesome. So we are completely done. So if you notice, our response should read something like this. The hypothesis in this context is that internet dating services cause or lead to long-term relationships. So we stated what the hypothesis and the problem was. Since the population of interest for this study should be people who are looking for long-term relationships,